Sunspot update, July 5th, 2026, 6:24 a.m. here in Scottsdale, Arizona. I want to give you guys a quick update on the sunspot situation. And we're going to start, of course, with the new large sunspot turning into view, AR 4482. And it announced its arrival with an X 1.3 solar flare yesterday evening. This was launched off the limb, so it won't have very much of an impact on Earth. But in the next few days ahead, as that thing turns into view, it's obviously the next X-flare player that we have to watch. And we have some new developments in the sunspot situation I want to show you. Of course, here on the left we have the new sunspot turning in, already an X-flare in the books. And on the right we have 4479 and 4478 turning out of view. Take a quick look at 78 up close. It's still got a lot of complexity to it. So this might be one of those sunspots that turns over the limb, disappears from our view, and then releases a very large solar flare. So we'll have to watch for that in the chronographs coming up in the next 2 or 3 days to see what happens there. But last night in the live stream I noticed the sunspot pop up very quickly, and as of a few minutes ago it's already been labeled. This is our new sunspot group 4483, and it's got a little bit of complexity already to it, and it's growing very quickly. So when I saw that, I decided to scan the solar disk a little closer, and we have 2 more sunspots forming very rapidly. These all formed within a few hours of each other. We have this small group right here, very simple setup but growing fast. And then up above that one, almost center disk, we have another group right here, pretty tightly packed. And these groups are growing pretty quickly, so we'll have to see what they do as far as size and growth today. But there's another interesting factor to these last 2 new sunspots I showed you that I want to run by you. This is the view in 193 angstroms, and you can see those last 2 sunspots. One is on the very south end of the coronal hole, and one is on the very north end of the coronal hole. And a lot of times when you get new sunspot growth right next to a coronal hole, it can lead to some explosive growth and quickly increasing flare potential. And any flares released by these sunspots could really stir up the plasma here in the corona next to this coronal hole. So we'll have to watch that and see how that develops today, especially this one to the north. If it develops quickly today, that could be an indication that some things are going on. Now I want to show you the chart from the last 3 days. We've had a barrage of C and M class flares from departing 4479, and we've had a baseline X-ray flux in the upper C class pretty much 3 days now, and I think that's going to continue with these new sunspots growing, the departing ones still within range, and the new large 4482. I think this chart is going to continue, and we'll have to see if 4482 gives us a little bit stronger flare activity. 4479 that's departing was kind of capped out in the upper M class range. And I want to show you a little bit of solar geometry that's kind of interesting that I noticed. Over here on the left is, of course, the new Sunspot 4482. And you'll notice its location is directly opposite of 4479. So as far as solar geometry goes, we have two large sunspots with large flare potential on exact opposite sides of the sun right now. So we'll have to see what kind of increase in flare strength we get from 4482 here in the coming days. So that's the sunspot update, and I want to make sure you guys know that 24/7 we have the Solar Observatory live stream going on. We have updated solar images and live chat going on, and I'm in there probably 3-4 times a day, sometime doing updates on the hour if we have really strong flare potential. So if you want to get the quickest updates on space weather on YouTube, tune into the Solar Observatory Live. It's on there 24/7. It's on the Dude Loves Space YouTube page. Thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.